Maggie from Pintuck Purl, and today we have something fun. We're going to unbox the B535, which is one of our favorite models here. So you can see I have this fancy Bernina box. I'm going to pop it open. So this is what you get when you bring home your new Bernina from us. And we go through this whole box before you leave. So the first thing we get is the first tray. We have our slide-on table, which is great. The 5 series has 8.5 inches to the right of the needle, so you have lots of room. You have your freehand system. I don't know if you guys have used this before, so this plugs into the front. When we get the machine out, I'll show you where it is. You plug it into the front, and then you can use this to raise and lower the presser foot. If you do anything with corners, which I assume most of you do, this is super helpful because it leaves your hands free. So I'm gonna move this over here. We have our manual and our embroidery data DVD. We also have, I'm gonna pull this out because I think it's really fun and people overlook it, this little Bernina accessories book. I tell people this is nighttime reading. You bring it to bed and look at it and then circle all the things you want and then call us or your local dealer to tell us what you want. And it will tell you what machines fit which. It's got feet and accessories and hoops and all that. You also have your printed manual with a spiral bound so you can keep it open and flat on the table if you need. We have our power cord, which goes to the fast and powerful DC motor. We have our little accessories that have the foam pads, the jumbo bobbin, 70% bigger than the rest of the bobbins out there. We have our oil. One thing about the oil, I just want to point out, this is specific to any Bernina machine with the big bobbins. It's a lighter weight oil. You don't want to use regular sewing machine oil on the big jumbo bobbin machines just because it's a little bit heavier. Touchscreen pen, and then we have spool caps and foam pads and screwdrivers. Oh, and the hump jumper or the height compensation tool. I am going to pull this out because I think this is really fun. So this is a height compensation tool. So if you are working with something with multiple layers and your feed dogs and your presser foot aren't level, you can use this and you can do different levels to make sure your machine will continue to go forward and not make those tiny little stitches that are a bear to get out. We have a package of Bernina needles. We have some extra little Metler thread. We have our Barbie box. This is the Bernina Barbie box. Now on the 5 series, this actually magnetizes to the back of the machine. It does not do so for the 7 series. But one thing I want to point out is the magnets are in the bottom of the machine, and also one of them is attached to the drawer. So if you don't have your drawer in the actual thing, it's not going to magnetize all the way. So on the 535, we have a 5.5 millimeter stitch width. And so you're gonna get your number 1 on the machine itself. Then we have our number 20, which is our open, it's called open toe embroidery, but this is actually used for decorative stitching. And these are all full shank feet. We have our number 4, which is our zipper foot. So you can either go on the right or the left. Needle center, just to point out, is a big bar of metal. So make sure you don't sew right on that. This is the number 2, the overlock foot. So you can use this to do a mock overlock stitch. One thing to point out, these all have little screws on the back. See these little metal guys? They like to fall out. So if you are sewing on your new Bernina and all of a sudden you see a shiny screw fall from nowhere, it's probably from the back of this foot, so you can just pop it right in the back. That little screw is to hold a seam gauge or a seam guide that can go on any feet that have that little screw. We'll put this over here and you can see the machines in there. We also have the soft cover. I will tell you, if you are not going to use your machine every day, which is totally fine, just make sure you keep this on that so that it doesn't get dust inside the tension discs. We have my ever favorite buttonhole foot. If you are not a Bernina buttonhole user currently, you should really think about that if you need buttonholes done, because they make the best buttonholes in the industry. So that's our special 3A, and that is tucked right in the side there. So if you unload your machine and you want to throw out your box, which we don't recommend, we think you should keep your box if you can, just make sure that that's taken out. We've had a couple people throw away the whole box with that included, and that's real sad, so don't do that. All right, so I'm gonna take the machine out, which will also see the foot pedal is tucked in there. So we have our foot pedal tucked in there. This is the Bernina one. This has a kickback, so you can do needle up and needle down. All right, so now we're gonna set up the machine and we'll show you what's going on. Okay, so now we have our 535 out of the box, turned on, plugged in, and I have the extension table. I don't know if you guys know, all Berninas come with these extension tables, and they'll fit each machine, so they're obviously not interchangeable. They are interchangeable within each line. So all the 5 series slide-on trays will fit the 5 series, 7 sevens, 3 threes, all that. So I want to talk about the 3 things we love about this 535, why it's one of the store favorites. So first, it has a 5.5 millimeter stitch width. It is, as of right now, one of the last ones you can get before getting into dual feed and 9 millimeters. We also love it because it has the ability to add embroidery to it. So you can, this is the first line, the first machine in the series where you can add machine embroidery, and this would just slide off and the module would fit into it. The third thing that we love is the thread cutter. So it's right here, and so this will save you a lot. See those little scissors right there? The thread cutter, so that means you're gonna save a lot of thread, which is great. So thread cutter, the ability to add embroidery, and a 5.5 millimeter stitch width. Great for apparel, great for garments, great for, I guess those are apparel, great for home deck, and great for quilting. Oh, the freehand system, I told you I would point that out. See that little hole? That's the hole for the freehand system. That's also a great feature of the majority of Berninas. If you've never stitched on a Bernina, you should come down and take a look or go to your local dealer. I'm telling you, you are going to love it. So we hope you enjoyed this, and we hope you come and take a look at the 535.